What is up, everybody? It is Andy coming to you before Thursday Night Football. The last time we touched base, the last time we checked in with each other was before Monday Night Football. I was telling you guys that me and the Cowboys, we had a lot in common. We had high aspirations, we had Super Bowl aspirations, and it's not that the season was going bad, but it wasn't going great. And if you have sniff aspirations, true sniff, the Sniffer Bowl, if you have Sniffer Bowl aspirations, you got to really start racking up some nice wins. The Cowboys got themselves a nice win on Monday. We got some nice wins here on this channel, on this video. We had the under with the Justin Herbert passing yards. We had the squeaky wheel. And then we also had the under on Eckler's rushing yards. And we almost hit that plus 1,000 same game parlay. The only thing that was missing from that was a Tony Pollard touchdown. And if it wasn't for that last shoestring tackle on that long reception, we would have hit that one too. So it's good to know that we are heading in the right direction, but we really are heading for a Thursday night. Might be difficult to keep that momentum going. I'm going to try to find the right little picks in there because I've mentioned this guy in many videos over the years. On nights where I don't even pick anything affiliated with the Saints, I still find time to take semi-jabs at Derek Carr and call him the loser. So how do you think it makes me feel knowing that if I'm going to pick a side on this one, I'm siding with a guy that I call the loser? Don't put a gun to my head and say, who's going to win this game? Because right now it's a coin flip. It's a -1. It started at like -2.5. But as we get closer to game time and it looks more and more evident that Trevor Lawrence is going to be playing, that line is creeping to even. But I do think the right play in this one is the New Orleans Saints. And yes, the loser, Derek Carr. But before you start going wild, click, all right, I'm taking him on the money line. How about we go outside of picking a money line, and then we'll come back to it in another one of those same game parlays. So the first thing I'm going to go with in this game is the over on receiving yards for Chris Olave. That's my best feel on this game because you've had this Jaguars secondary who's kind of been torched by number one receivers in the recent past. You had Diggs absolutely go off against them in London. And then last week, I don't care if it was when they were trailing, when they were up, regardless, Pittman got to over 100 yards. So that's back-to-back 100-yard receiving days from the number one receiver going against this secondary in Jacksonville. And also, you know, Chris Olave is one of these guys. Here's the good news. He's either going to crush his over-under or he's going to go way under and you're going to get killed because when you look at his receiving totals, it's either 90 or 100 or about 12. I kind of prefer that. That allows me to say, all right, if I'm right, he's going to hit the alt on that as well. They have him in the low 60s. This is considered one of the best receivers in the NFL. If you listen to everybody, you're always going to struggle with Carr. But Carr is a couple weeks removed from that injury who allowed him to confidently check it down and check it down and check captain checkdowns. You know how I've told you about that. The best part about those weeks is he had an excuse. Normally, he tries to get by and people don't claim that he's always checking it down. But then once he had the injury, he got to check down with the excuse of, oh no, it's clearly my injury. I'm just trying to play it. He wanted to check it down even if he was at 100% health. And if you think I don't want to take those checkdowns, you're mistaken. When they put these catches at 4.5, 5, it becomes a little bit harder. But anyway, my favorite bet is going to be the over on Olave receiving yards. We'll come back to an alt on that in a second. The second favorite bet that I have is the under on Travis Etienne rushing yards. He's been a great runner. There's no doubt about it. These last couple of weeks, he's flashed a ton. However, this New Orleans defense is very tough to play against, especially in the dome. It's hard to move the ball. And I think if they're going to do it, it's going to have to be through the air. They have two receivers who can play inside and outside. It's probably going to have to be more through the air. I would be very surprised if Etienne is able to run all over this team indoors in that dome on a short week. So I'm going to go with the under on Etienne. The same way you guys hear me saying, oh, we have a low total because he struggled on receivers, so let's take the over and the alt. I feel the opposite way about these running backs. We have Etienne coming off a couple of good weeks, Now he has an elevated total, and he usually needs to like bust 1 or 2 for those, because he's not one of those guys who's like racking up 10 yards. He has a little more of that Barkley thing. 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, and then he'll gash one for like 20. We'll see if he can do that. I'm betting against it in this game. I'll take the under on Travis Etienne rushing yards. Another bet that I like in there is the over on Carr completions. This guy's a check down artist. They have it set in the low 20s. I don't know if he's going to be throwing it all over the field, but you don't need to do that to get 22 completions. He can get 8 on a single drive the way he plays. I'll take the over on Carr completions. And then if we're going to put that all together in my same game parlay, how about we do the New Orleans Saints at plus 3.5? Because it's just, if I nickname him the loser, I have to buy myself a little leeway. Let's go with the adjusted Olave receiving yards. Let's go with the over on those Carr completions. And then let's go with the under on Travis Etienne rushing yards. That's going to get you a pretty plus stack of money. Almost as good as the stack of the money you can get if you're a new user over at Bet365. You know about that? I've told you about that. New user at Bet365. You deposit 10, make a $5 bet. They're going to give you $150 in free bonus bets as long as you're a new user over there. Now, there's 3 separate links that you can find down below. One if you're in the US, one if you're in Canada, and one if you're international. And it's not available in every U.S. state, so make sure it is. You got to be 21 to gamble, 18 to drink. No, that's not true. 21 to gamble, 21 to drink, unless you're in Canada and you can be 18 to drink, or unless you're in Kentucky and you can be 18 to gamble, which is pretty cool. However, if you have a problem, no matter what age you are, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. And I really like that same game parlay. This game, it can go either way, but New Orleans at home is a really tough team to play against. We have some uncertainty with Lawrence, so if you're telling me Lawrence is going to be somewhat limited, they're coming off pretty good wins back to back. But you know, when I see 75% of the public on something, you can send me the other way, even if that other way leads me to a guy that I call the loser. Anyway, that's what I got for you here on this Thursday. Let's try to build off that Monday. Good Thursday means great Sunday, but we will see. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. You make sure you're subscribed to the Odd Chopper channel here as a piece of chicken comes out of my mouth. Follow me on social media. It's at Andy Francis on all social media platforms. It really does mean a lot to me. The more I get, the more of a chance I have to fight my way up the algorithm. It's a David versus Goliath story, but in this story, David keeps losing and I'm David. All right, everybody, I will see you hopefully tomorrow for Francis and Friends. We got another episode coming up. Or come check out my NHL videos, or come to my YouTube channel. It's at Andy Francis on YouTube, where I'm going to be doing a show called Picking Corners on Friday night. Hopefully, I see you for all of them, and you're subscribed to all shows named Andy Francis, including the new Charles in Charge reboot when it comes out in a couple of years, when I can finally figure out how to get that done. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.